Whether we want to admit it or not, fitting in is a very important part of our lives. No matter how much we try to deny internally that we don't want to fit in, we really do want to fit in. It's inherently a part of ourselves. It creeps up a little bit in elementary school. It goes a little faster in middle school, it kicks into overdrive in high school, and then for the rest of your life, it goes back down one more notch. Maybe Too Fast, Too Furious level. It wasn't as big as it was previously, but it was still pretty high up there, no matter how much you want to think about it. Sometimes, the part of us that does want to fit in creeps into our lives, and it decides that you're gonna do whatever you need to do to try and fit in. Now, what makes things worse is when you're on the other side of fitting in, when you are not liked by anybody, you're picked on, you get yogurt put in your hair, all that bad stuff. When you're on the receiving end of that, you never want to ever go back to that point. So you may end up doing things that you'll regret later, just to fit in. I will be the first to admit that I did some very, very bad things to try and fit in when I was in middle school and high school, and I regret them to this day, and if I ever saw those people again, I would deeply apologize for my actions because they were awful, and I am not okay with that person who I was. I wanted to do whatever I needed to do just to fit in, just so I didn't have to go back to being that person that's sitting alone in the lunchroom getting yogurt put in his hair. We change who we are because we want to fit in, and that's how bad things are. We become people that we never thought we'd become just because we don't want to go back to that dark, dark place that we once were. But we end up putting people in that dark, dark place that you once were in. And it doesn't even stop when you're out of high school, because there's your family you want to impress, there's your extended family that you want to impress. That's pretty much in your family also. There's your coworkers that you want to impress. You want to be in the cliques and all that stuff. You want to be a part of the cool group. You don't want to be on the outside. You don't want people talking behind your back. It follows you for the rest of your life. It's how we deal with wanting to fit in that matters the most. You don't want to change who you are to fit in, because then you end up turning into the people that you hated so much before. It's a tough balancing act, because you can fit in, but sometimes if you want to fit in, you have to do things and you have to change yourself, and that's not right. And if that's the case, then you're not hanging out with the right people, because fitting in should only matter if you don't have to change yourself. If you have to change yourself, then it becomes a problem. If you have to change who you are just to get in with a group of people, they're not the right group of people for you. Hell, they're not the right group of people for anybody. You shouldn't have to change yourself to hang out with anybody. I really wish I had somebody telling me this kind of stuff when I was in middle school or high school, because I wouldn't have been changing myself into the people that I had hated growing up, just so that I could feel what it's like to be a part of a group. If you don't find the right people to fit in with right away, that's okay. You know what? Because you will eventually. You'll find them, or they'll find you. And for what it's worth, ending up as one of the cool people isn't all that it's cracked up to be anyway. Because in the short term, they end up, sticking around a little bit. But then it's the people that like you, for you, that stick around and last a lifetime.